Hi lock lovers, let's talk today about protein versus moisture and how to know which one you need. I want to talk about that today because in my previous video I used the Neutrogena triple moisturizing daily deep conditioner along with some jojoba oil and water to give a daily spritz every 2 to 3 days to my locks, and I applied a protein treatment on the ends. However, prior to this I have been using, because I love it so much, the organics hair mayonnaise mixed with some olive oil. I've been using it because it makes my hair feel really silky and smooth just on the scalp area, not so much along the length of the locks. I just like the feel of it, and then I would apply at the sides the Shea Moisture mask. But this mayo hair mayo treatment by Organics is a protein treatment, and after a while it was too much protein for my hair, and I knew that because when I would apply the moisturizer or even the mayo, I would see strands of hair coming off on my hands, and that's a big sign when you just have breakage coming off. Even when the hair is wet, that's a big sign that you have too much protein and you have to cut back. Now, how do you know if you have too much protein? Well, and excuse me if I look at my notes because I just want to get it really right for you guys. But how to know if you have too much protein? Well, you can assess your hair when it's wet, and you can see if it breaks easily when it's wet or dry. That's a sure sign that you have too much protein in your hair. Sometimes you would see that it doesn't have the elasticity that it used to have, or when you go to twist your hair up in different styles or whatever, it is not as malleable. It's not, you cannot manipulate it as well as you usually would. That's a good sign. Of course, the regulars, if it's dry or crunchy, rigid, especially if you're applying the oils in your hair as usual, as I said, and it comes off in your palms, too much protein. That is a sure sign. So you want to treat it with moisturizing shampoos, moisturizing conditioners. But before you apply the moisturizing shampoo or conditioner, you want to clarify the hair. Get all of the oils, get all of the protein out of the hair first, and then you can apply your moisturizer. So you want to apply a hair stripper, which is a clarifier first, and then you can put your moisturizing shampoo and conditioner. And just be mindful, it's going to take about 4 or so weeks to remediate this situation. And be careful when you're shopping for moisturizers, because a lot of products on the market, it may be advertised as a moisturizer when in fact it really is a protein treatment. So here are some of the keywords that you want to look for when you are looking for a moisturizer. These are some words that you do not want to see on the bottle: reconstructor, polymer reconstructor, collagen, elasticizing, wheat, silk, hydrolyzed protein, strengthening, reducing breakage, plant extracts, bond repairing, amino acids, wheat proteins, milk, and eggs. You do not want to see that on the cover of your product, because most likely it's going to contain too much protein, especially if you have too much in your hair as it is. And I noticed that the bargain brands such as VO5 and Suave, which I tend to buy also because you can buy it in bulk and it's cheaper to use, especially if you have a lot of hair. They tend to have a lot of protein too, so I've been cutting back. It's just that Aubrey's, which makes a really delicious moisturizer, and I showed you that in one of my previous videos on different products, protein versus moisturizing products. They are very good, but it's a little bit pricey, but I will have to sacrifice because Suave and VO5 and a lot of the other cheaper brands, they do tend to be a little bit heavier on the protein. Yes. What else I want to really explain to you guys? Oh, And then how can you tell? I mean, some people have the opposite problem. How can they tell if they have too much moisture? It is possible to have too much moisture in your hair. How can you tell? Well, the hair will be overly mushy, overly spongy, and overly elastic and sort of limp. You can feel in your locks when it's not, it's overly spongy and weak. And if it looks sort of dull, no matter what you have tried, no matter what oils you put inside, and even if you try to remediate the situation by putting more moisture in here because you really don't know, you will notice that as you add the moisture, it does not work. And then you would know that you have too much moisture in your hair. This is a new necklace. I love it, but it's a little bit too big because I bought it at, I think, Lane Bryant or one of those places. I'm going to fix it because I love it. And I'm going to wear it with my Atlas dress. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Okay, so I wanted to tell you guys, I know a lot of people say, oh, I'm going to moisturize with my oils. You cannot moisturize with oils. And this is not just my opinion, guys. It is science. You know, black hair is porous as it is. Our hair is porous as it is. That means, you know, things very easily go in, but they very easily go out also. And that is why the best moisturizer for hair by far is water. It is very good for getting into those porous strands. However, it will easily come out also. That is why we use oils to trap the moisture in the hair. You know, the molecules in the oils such as jojoba and olive oil and coconut oil, which are really good ones to bind and hold to the hair. They stick to the hair because the molecules are too large to go into that hair. So it stays on the surface, coats it, and it keeps the moisture that's already in. It keeps it in, and it keeps that barrier nice and tight. So you want to use the oils after you have put in your water or water-based conditioners. That's why you would hear on natural blogs and other websites, you know, you want to have water-based products. That's why they keep muttering that mantra. You have to have water-based products because you want that water to be your main ingredient in any of the products that you get to seal and moisturize. I'm sorry, to moisturize the hair. You will use the oil to seal that moisture in. And as I said, jojoba oil, coconut oil, olive oil, and almond oil if you like a lighter oil than olive oil, but that does almost the same thing. You would use an almond oil, but those oils pretty much mimic by far what your hair would need or does already. I know there's another thing I wanted to mention before I stopped you guys. And yeah, and every 3 days I think is a good time to moisturize. By the time the third day slips around, that moisture that your hair was holding, it has already dissipated, and the oils that I mentioned easily dissipate along with that water. So that is a good time to go back in and moisturize again. But please assess your hair when it's wet to see which part of the spectrum you're on. If your hair is just regular and doing okay, if your hair is too dry and it's either due to too much moisture or to too much protein. And as I said, mine was due to too much protein from my organics hair mayonnaise, which I love so much, but I'm going to have to put away for the next 8 or so weeks to deal with my protein overload. However, the ends of my hair, I am still going to apply protein to maybe every 3 weeks. And as I explained in my other video, it is because it is older. It is going to need a light protein treatment every 3 weeks. If you have color treated hair, you can try putting the protein treatment only on the part of your locks that is color treated. I mean, if your hair, obviously if you have specific spots all throughout, you're going to have to use a light protein conditioner, but just be aware, just be mindful of what to look for, breakage, if it's too much protein, and then you would have to apply moisture instead. Just be mindful if you're using a lot of moisture and you keep going, but then you see the hair starts to get too limp, too spongy, kind of being manipulated as well, it's too dull, you have a moisture overload. Don't be like me, right? Because I love my organics and I just overloaded on it. Be mindful and do that wet hair test once in a while to make sure that your hair is up to date. Okay, lock lovers, until next time, bye.